I'm really glad to be here. So let me first thank to the organizers of this event for inviting me. Now it has been a tradition for me. It's my the third time, if I am not wrong, to be in a panel in the Sharq Forum. Well, to your appointment, Naim, first of all, I'm not going to talk too much about the state or politics. And when I say too much as much as a politician can avoid it, of course. But rather, I'm going to talk about money. You know, there is a very good movie, actually a series of movies.
I said you must talk about people, not money.
But money and people are convertible to each other. There's a reciprocity between money and people. Anyway, there is a movie, as you know, Die Hard. The movie of Bruce Willis. It's a series of movies, actually. And in each episode, there is a cliche. And at a certain point, Bruce Willis comes out and says, "It's money, my friend, and always money." So let's try to focus on the money component of the security issue. And another maybe warning that I should do, since that we have two economists in the same panel. When you have two economists, you'll end up at least with three different ideas. This is by nature, by construction, but I have nothing to do about it.
That's richness.
Yes. And it's not a common good in our region, by the way, my brother, to have different ideas. Anyway, so we are talking about security. And when it comes to security and MENA region is concerned, of course, we have to consider about peace building, because peace and security are really, the two factors that go hand by hand, side by side in our region. So how can we contribute to peace building, or can we contribute to restore the peace and security in a region such as MENA? And of course, once we'll get there, there will be another issue, that is to make sure that it will be sustainable and long-lasting. Well, I think there is a common consensus about the role of the economy in the peace building. So we know that prosperity, economic wealth, and high growth really contribute to the peace and security. When you have those things, high growth, of course, inclusive growth, preferably, and economic wealth, then it will be easier to restore and sustain peace and security. So what can we do about it? Of course, when we are talking about peace and security in the MENA region, we, of course, always keep in mind that at least 4 layers are concerned. First layer is intergovernmental peace and security. So because there are conflicts between nation states. So this is the first layer. The second layer is the security issue or peace between the government or regime and its people. The third one is the security or conflict as a threat to security originating from amorphous elements, as you just said, like Daesh or other terrorist organizations in the region. And fourth is the threat to security, threat to peace originating from foreign forces or global forces like US, Russia, China, etc. Of course, I am a humble man, and in my very humble capacity, I cannot deal all of those issues. But at least, if we can bring a perspective of economy, 2 layers, intergovernmental and intra-governmental peace and security issues can be handled relatively more easier. And how can we do this? Well, of course, thanks to the theories about peace building, the role of the economy in peace building, going back to the pre-war period, we know that there are two approaches, orthodox approaches, that can help to restore and then maintain peace and security. First, natural disaster approach. As we had in, for example, Hurricane Katrina. When you have a disaster, natural disaster, of course, it poses a threat to the security, and you know how to deal with it. Another approach is the so-called post-war stabilization. We know the Marshall Plan after the Second World War, how everybody worked together in order to restore the security in, for example, Europe, and also after the collapse of the Soviet system. Again, there were attempts to restore peace and security in the region. And there are more recent approaches like institutional approach, which says that before liberalizing the region, you need first to build the institutions, or emergency approaches, so early recovery. So you should first target the immediate needs of people before thinking about the other things. Well, I'll try to propose another thing. Taking my capacity as the CEO and chairman of Borsa Istanbul, because we created a small model of it. And this is all about the entrepreneurship. How we can support and actually enhance the entrepreneurial ability of people, common people, without maybe thinking too much about the government, the state, the war, etc. Is it possible really to support entrepreneurial ability of people? This is the first thing. The second thing, as you know, there are two categories in our region who are the victims of lack of security. Those are women and youth. So is it possible to develop a mechanism to address directly to those two strata, those two groups, women and youth, to empower them and to create an inclusive environment in the economy where those two subgroups would play a more determining role so that their relative situation would improve. And in order to reach those aims, as Borsa Istanbul, we developed a very special market to bring together angel investors, crowdfunding, things like that, and special kind of financing for earlier stage of investment, earlier stage of entrepreneurship. They are not looking really making a lot revenue. They are not looking really to generate too much money out of the investment. But they are providing investment, supporting innovation, microcredit to enable especially women to become an integrated part of the economic life. Of course, I am totally aware that compared to the big issues, really big threats, what I'm talking are really very minor issues. But I am aware, on the other hand, that if we wait until those big issues to be solved or to be addressed, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it will be too late. So, in my opinion, it's better to take a step today. Maybe a small one, maybe a minor one, humble one, but to deliver something concrete for the good of people in the region to improve the security and peace of the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim.